Want to stand up? Hey everyone, a lot of you have been asking about actually riding the trails on the Turbo Levo, so I thought let's do it today basically. It's been raining a fair bit, but we're going to go out anyway and see what we can do. Hopefully it's not too wet, not too slippery, but yeah, hopefully we'll have a good time and fingers crossed you enjoy it. So I've come from the future. This is what the bike looks like after the trails, which I'm about to ride. I'm going to give you a quick introduction to the bike before we go hit those trails that I've already ridden. So let's clean this first. Now that we've washed it, here it is in all of its glory. We'll just correct that. Make it look nicer. Here it is in all of its glory. Alright, so a little quick bike check for y'all before we start the video. This is the 2021 Specialized Turbo Levo Comp. So it's sort of the intermediate model. It's got the redwood colour scheme. It retails at about 10,000 Australian dollars, which is brutal. It is brutal. Don't get me wrong, that's expensive. Just letting you know, I'm putting it out there, just information for the video. What that is in US dollars or euros, I don't know, but you've got Google. Now we've got 160 travel in the front, 150 travel in the rear. I've found that this is great for the majority of riding. Obviously, you know, if you're doing downhill World Cups or something, if they have an e-bike equivalent of that, you're gonna want more. But for the purposes, like a general purpose riding everywhere, I found that it's great. I love it. So yeah, then our little motor down here, we've got the Specialized M2, 250 watt nominal. Not that really matters too much. And then here we've got the integrated Specialized battery in here. This is a 700 watt hour battery. I recently had this warranted actually in the last, well, I've only had this bike. This is the 3rd week of having the bike, or 3rd and a half week. So coming onto the 4th week, and we've already had a battery warranty. I'll put a link to that video if you're interested. But so we've got the replacement at the moment, and that's about it as far as everything you need to know. Yeah, so you're not going to see too much of my face this video, which I mean, you might love it and you might not want to see my face, but might just be in it for the riding, which I suspect the majority of you actually are, because you're not clicking on this video for me. So yeah, I'll just more than likely commentate over it, give you a vibe, give you a feel for what's happening and how the bike responds, and hope you enjoy. Alright, so as you'd expect, we've got to start with the boring stuff, the climbing on the road. We'll just get it done nice and quick, but we've got to put it in there anyway. It basically kills it. I don't think there's much difference in climbing on a road between any e-bikes, so yeah, it meets the expectations. It's superb. Just a little forward before we get into all the action. I'm using a chest mount. I'm not sure how it's going to hold up. I don't even know what this looks. This is probably a disgusting view. But I'm thinking about running the full face in the future, just to stabilize the footage a bit more. I think it's pretty good on most of the terrain, but as soon as it gets a bit gnarly, it's sort of a bit, ugh. My chest is too small. Straight into the descent. So I think the bike handles really well. I've said this in previous videos, and I suspect you're about to witness it. This is an upper luge. in South Hobart. This is sort of like a 1 minute trail. It's got a bit of everything. I really enjoy it. As you can see, the bike, well, sort of low key going fast. I'm not cruising down it, and the bike's responsive. It's really just flowing as if I was riding a normal mountain bike. For those of you on Strava or are familiar with it, basically this trail offers no extra gain from using the motor due to the lack of pedaling. It might be hard to tell because of the footage angle, because the steepness of trails sort of gets hidden. But basically, my times are virtually the same on this bike, regardless of whether the motor's on or not, versus the Yeti 5.5 that I used to have, which says a lot. Like, this actually surprised me legitimately. I was blown away. This was the first track I rode on the bike, and it's just amazing. I do have a little slip up just up here, but that's to be expected. This is a really sort of slippery track around the corners, and but I love it. Climbing performance on this bike, it's awesome. It's an e-bike, so I'm just going to put it out there. It does beat any other mountain bike because it is an e-bike. But in saying that, I think a lot of e-bikes can lose their mountain bike feel. This feels like a mountain bike to climb. So the trail I'm riding up now, it's called Slippery Hollow. You'll be able to see, or you should be able to see, just how slippery it is, even through the action camera footage. This is a real struggle to get up. This is a proper technical climb. Usually it is dual direction, but 90% of the time people are riding down it, because riding up it is just shit. It really is. So the e-bike though, this Levo in particular, it just flows up it. Now the only thing I do have to say, which I suspect you're going to have to deal with this with any e-bike, not just the Turbo Levo, is you do have to continually pedal to get that pedal assist, which when you're riding up like roots and logs and sort of technical sort of maneuverable features, that is a bit of an issue in learning how to continually pedal rather than do your sort of like trials, maneuvers around and your back pedals and your little bunny hops. Because as soon as you stop pedaling, the motor basically cuts out. You'll see that it's a bit overgrown from that tree there. But yeah, it feels planted. It's superb. Like you can't fault it up hills basically. The weight is, you don't notice it. Obviously, if you turn the motor off, you'd suffer profusely, but that's not the case. So this is just a connector trail, basically. It sort of links the two main trail hubs in South Hobart. It's pretty tough going on a standard mountain bike, but on an e-bike you just blitz up here. Like, oh, it's the dream. Being able to ride twice as far with the same effort. Double the trails and you put in the same amount. Well, you can obviously choose not to put in the same amount, but I guess that's personal preference. I find that I puff just as much on the uphills than I do on the normal mountain bike, just because I just want to smash it and get to the trails faster, which is contrary to many others. But no, I love it. Since I've gotten this bike, I think it hasn't affected my fitness at all. Mind you, I do road ride and do try to keep active on the other bikes, not just on the e-bike, but taking such a big chunk out of the riding on the normal mountain bike to this, if anything, I've gotten stronger for manhandling it. So the start of this trail is sexual soil. We're on a lot drier side of the mountain at the moment, the lower foothills. In a minute we're going to go into overtime, which is arguably the slipperiest trail in South Hobart at any point in time, at any given day. But I really like the slippery stuff, and especially on this bike, I think it really can soak it up. All that extra weight going into corners and through the slippery terrain, it almost aids you, gives you extra stability and extra grip. And of course the lower centre of gravity, having that integrated battery motor right down at the bottom, it has a really good geometry. It's got that trail feel, it's playful, it's agile, it's very sort of like you're not stereotypical e-bike, what you perceive to believe that they are. Yeah, so this really is quite slippery at the moment. I'm really fighting the bike, but I think I'd be no different on any other mountain bike. Arguably, with the lighter carbon frames, you'd have more issues because you wouldn't have as much power going through those corners to get the grip.
Cheat line. Ugh. This is an issue.
One thing I failed to do here is I could have used the pedal mode where it pedals the bike for you when you're walking, but I haven't quite gotten used to that, and I always forget it's there. I'm in that mentality of pushing the bike when I'm off. So that's just one of those things. To start with, I thought, I'm never going to use this. But actually, it is really good. Well, in my backyard anyway, where I've just used it for the sake of it. I'm yet to actually remember to use it on a trail because I haven't been in that situation yet where I have had to. Just some uphill trails, some non-tech stuff, sort of like flowy trails. I find that you can almost, it's like a different ball game riding these fast flowy trails uphill on the e-bike. I've got it in full turbo at the moment, so it's 100% assisted. Is wrong to say, but it's full bore basically. And it almost activates your mind more because you've got to preempt the climb. It's actually really fun.
Ugh. I'm going pretty tentative on this trail just to try to preserve it. There's so much moisture. I feel like this is the best way to go about it. Nice little waterfall. Wow. This is awkward. I wonder how slippery these are. Oh. Oh. Thankfully not too slippery, otherwise you might have seen a fail video right there.
This is Red Wine, another trail on the dry side of the lower foothills of the mountain. For those folks watching who don't live in southern Hobart, the local mountain, Mount Wellington, everyone refers to as the mountain. So if you catch me saying that, I'm trying not to, but it's the landmark. It's like if you lived at the base of the Matterhorn, you'd be like, oh, the mountain. But Mount Wellington's a lot less impressive than the Matterhorn. That was probably a poor mountain to compare it to. But look, there's so many trails here. It's like a lot of the trails here are more built not necessarily legally. So it's a real grey area. Yeah, so there's sort of a local community who builds these trails, not necessarily legally, and then the trails which are legal don't seem to be as ridden as much. They are good. There's maybe 25, out of all the trails, maybe 25% of the trails in this area are legal. The others are a real grey area. Over time, mountain biking is becoming more accepted in Tasmania, as per Derby and Medina, sort of tourism ventures like that. And these really, really well-built trails are becoming sort of the norm, and some of them have gone so far as to become made legal. So it's a really exciting time at the moment in southern Tasmania regarding new trails. But really, we've got so much good stuff here. I was like, you can't complain at all. We've got a big dog climb. I just threw this in because it's like a super steep climb. I wanted to show you guys that this bike can handle it. Any e-bike sort of like trail test review sort of video will have someone throwing these bikes in.
This is
And just straight up terrible climbs. And this is that obviously you can't see it like any video, but yeah, it's steep.
not even half of it.
And last but not least, we have drops. This is sort of like got a few cool jumps at the top, and then it gets sort of into a real rocky, hectic sort of like bulldogging trail, just between trees and rocks. I will say that the chest-mounted action camera, it does suffer quite a bit here, and I'm sorry for this. I almost left it out of the video. As you can see right now, we're sort of bulldogging our way down, and it's chaotic. Like, your whole body's just rattling. I could have moved the camera up a bit. There's a lot of factors that came into this, but at the end of the day, I thought if you're still watching now, why not add this in as well? Just another trail that you can see the bike tested on, and you can tell that it's rocky. It's brutally rocky. And that top section, it's a lot better now, but the bike really does well, I think. The Turbo Levo does well in bulldog sections where you just have to manhandle it through. I think it excels there almost. It's brilliant.
So that's that. Hope you enjoyed coming along on the trails with me, and I'll see you next time. Be sure to like and comment, and subscribe for further videos around here and with this bike.